Welcome to the Sports Marketing Machine Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Nizer. Today, I sit down with Kassidy Ellenby from DePaul University. She is the Executive Associate Athletic Director for Marketing and Communications, and we talk about an open role that she has. This open role is the Associate Athletic Director, Marketing and Fan Experience, with a focus on men's hoop. So, welcome to the podcast, Kassidy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Jeremy. I'm excited to elaborate a little bit more on this open role that we currently have at DePaul University. So with this position, the Associate AD of Marketing and Fan Experience, we're really looking for someone, multiple different duties, but men's basketball is the focus. We have a really good opportunity right now with DePaul Athletics and new coaching staff. So men's basketball is the primary sport responsibility, but this individual will also see our marketing team. So we have another full-time member under them, the assistant AD position that we're currently filling, two GAs that will be coming in this year. One's a 2-year position, the other's a 1-year position. And then we have anywhere from 30 to 40 marketing students that we rely pretty heavily on. So some managerial parts of it, the department part as well, men's basketball. And then this person will also sit on our senior leadership team, which is a really cool opportunity that I was fortunate to have when I started here at DePaul, and we have a really solid senior leadership team. So looking for that right person that kind of fits all those boxes.
Absolutely. So when you're looking for someone, are you looking for 2 years, 3 years of experience? How many years of experience are you ideally looking for?
Yeah, so likely looking in that 3-year minimum, but honestly, I just want to make sure that we fit the best candidate and that we are able to kind of look at everything from a wide spectrum. Given the managerial piece, the men's basketball piece, senior leadership, I know not all candidates have equal years of experience in all of those buckets. So I think once we look at the many candidates that have already applied and we're still accepting them, I think we'll just kind of weigh the years of experience, but also the quality of the years as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about the duties, expectations. So you got to be at every single men's basketball game. Is there an expectation to be at other sports as well, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so every men's game, they'll be the one wearing the headset, sitting next to our PA announcer at the scorer's table, kind of directing the games. Mm-hmm. When it comes to other sporting events, because of this person being the head of the department, would strongly encourage them to be at as many events as possible from a pure support standpoint. Mm-hmm. The nice thing about our schedule here at DePaul, we don't have the football, we don't have baseball, so we have 15 sports that we support, and a lot of them are right here on campus. So it's easy enough to pop over to men's soccer in the afternoon, women's soccer on a Saturday afternoon, to volleyball on a Friday night. So would love to make sure that this individual is open to attending as many events as possible, but really the primary ones is just making sure that they're really running the show at men's basketball.
Perfect. Sports supervision. So this person would not be supervising the sport per se, but would be running the game of show on a typical game day, right?
Correct. Yep. So from the men's basketball perspective, they'll be running game days. However, Dwayne, our athletic director, he is incredible with providing leadership opportunities for us here at DePaul University. So there's to say that there might be an opportunity to be a secondary sport admin for another sport. I'm currently the sport admin for men's soccer, which I'm going into my 2nd year, and that was something that I did not come into DePaul with experience. So I was able to be secondary and then was given the opportunity to be primary. I think Dwayne has a great structure of how we are able to learn from those who have been doing it for a while. And then once that opportunity comes up to be a sport admin for a golf or a softball, Dwayne definitely takes all of that into consideration.
Well, that says a lot about the culture of DePaul University and the athletic department, where your athletic director is constantly looking for opportunities for people to grow and develop.
Absolutely. Dwayne, he is incredible. I think I just say the leadership from the top down. He is very open door policy. I think it's a benefit of us having a little bit of a smaller staff here at DePaul versus, like I said before, we don't have the football to beef up the numbers of 300 plus staff members. We're just over 100. So Dwayne truly knows our full-time staff, our graduate assistants that I mentioned before, our students. Dwayne knows a lot of our students by name. He wanted to make sure that we were wearing name tags so he would understand and know who is doing what. And then that trickles down to our student athletes. We have 215 plus student athletes, and Dwayne is very much, if my door is open, come on in.
That's great. That's such a great atmosphere and a great way to be able to work in there because you just never like to have closed doors and what have you. So I love to hear that the culture at DePaul is so open and people just want to help each other grow and develop, not only just from a student athlete, but from a staff perspective as well. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So we talked a little bit about the fan engagement side of things. You're running the show, you're sitting next to the PA announcer, you're running the in-game entertainment. Let's talk a little bit on the marketing side. So there's some ticket sales goals. What does this look like? How are they supporting the ticket sales staff?
Yeah, absolutely. So our external team works really, really closely together. We have been integrating the 360 model. So if we're doing a promotion, it's not just a promo of picking up this T-shirt at the game. Trying to figure out how we can get our merchandise and licensing tied in with our ticket office, with sponsorship. So we support each other. Our one goal is everybody's goal, and clearly ticket revenue and attendance is really important. We have a really unique opportunity this year with a new men's basketball head coach, Chris Holtman,
Hmm.
and his staff is incredible. He's built a phenomenal support staff that's great to work with, and they have uh, very much accredited resumes. And they also built a brand new roster, so 13 new players on the team. So the goal, our end in marketing, we need to make sure to give them that home court advantage. So this off season, we're really building up with that storytelling and making sure that our fans can identify who is who, which is going to take some time. But
Hmm.
we believe that with building that affinity between the fans and the athletes, especially these new teammates and coaching staff, the attendance and the ticket revenue will come. So yes, we would love sellout crowds every single
Sure.
time.
Everybody would.
Yep, absolutely. But as long as we are getting incrementally better every single time and making sure that we are packing Wintrust Arena to the best of our ability, it might not happen overnight.
Hmm.
And Coach Holtman definitely says that too. It's take some time with us. We
Hmm.
have a really good team culture that we're building. So again, won't happen overnight, but that's Dwayne is realistic. Our head of ticket office is realistic. So as long as we're making the strides day to day and moving forward together, I think that it will definitely pay off in the end.
Having worked in college athletics and having a new basketball coach come in on the men's side, one of the big things that we did was getting out into the community. And it seems like that's a huge thing for your coach and your coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not ask for a better coaching staff and head coach that's willing to get out to our fans and willing to get in front of a camera, willing to have a camera behind the scenes. So Coach Holman has been incredible with that. This past summer, we're currently 2 out of 3 coaches caravan stops. So we are going to different suburbs around the Chicagoland area, kind of doing a little bit more, we'll go to you instead of always asking people to come to us.
Hmm.
And every time Holt gets on the microphone and just addresses the crowd, I feel the engagement. People are so invested in what he's saying. And I think that really is making an impact. We try to use Chicago as our backyard as a selling point, not just for recruits. The
Hmm.
coaches take care of that. But from a fan perspective, we try to partner with a lot of all the pro teams in the area. So we do DePaul night at the White Sox, at the Cubs. And I mentioned that because Coach Holtman threw out the first pitch at a Cubs game, and it was one of our most liked tweets that we put out, and
That's
he was
awesome.
super stoked. But that, to us, it's capitalizing on the Chicago fans, the basketball fans, the Chris Holtman fans from previous spots that he's been. So
Hmm.
we're just trying to use the bigger market to our advantage. And I feel very fortunate that Coach Holtman is as open as he is with that.
Yeah, and that makes it easier for y'all to be able to get them out to do rotary speeches and to do all these different things, commercials, all these things to really try to put him in the front of it to get some momentum for the season. So a lot of these community opportunities, do they fall on this role's plate to kind of help coordinate, or is this something that you rely more on the basketball staff?
Yeah, so I will probably partner with this role in kind of coming up with new ideas, but also making sure that we're maintaining the ideas that we've put in place the last 2+ years that I've been here. So part of my role is making sure that we're getting out in the community with fan council events. We're doing Lincoln Park Chamber of Commerce events. So I will likely be tag teaming, but I always say that everybody's a marketer in some
Mhm.
ways. So I say this to our staff, I say this to our coaching staff in particular, where if you see something, an opportunity that we can be activating, I am all ears and making sure that we are putting our resources in the best way possible and getting in front of those new fans. So it's a team marketing effort, but definitely keeping men's basketball on the top of mind for this role. We'll be working pretty closely to find those opportunities.
And it's good to hear that everyone's kind of pulling at the same rope as well, because you've seen that from a few different spots before in my previous life where you don't always get the support. But it sounds like at DePaul, top to bottom, everybody's pulling on the same rope and helping and making this a wonderful opportunity for anyone that comes in. Let's talk a little bit about more on the marketing side. So we talked and touched a little bit on hitting ticket sales goals and really having an emphasis on focusing on that. This role's managing a budget, placing ads, running ads, trying to sell some single game tickets, potentially groups, season tickets, and so forth?
Yes, absolutely. So we are in a unique situation where both our assistant AD and associate AD positions are vacant. So as we are hiring these, it's kind of an opportunity for me to figure out where people's strengths are. I would advertising as a piece, especially in the Chicago market, that I know we have a ton of opportunity for. So whether it is the assistant position that comes in and has a little bit stronger of that advertising experience, or I would love if this associate position has that advertising experience. We have had a great plan in the last couple of years with out of home, some digital, but I also want to make sure that we are doing the basics, not just for men's and women's basketball, but we're doing advertising for other sports as well. So it is a key part of our marketing strategy moving forward. So I'm a little flexible in who is truly the one owning it. But like I said before, a lot of our marketing efforts needs to be collaborative. So yes, someone will technically own it. But if we see something or on Spotify that we want to try out, or we want to put paid dollars behind a TikTok that our social team puts together, I'm more than open to having that conversation.
Well, that's great that there's some flexibility within there. And this person, whoever comes into this role or however it shakes out, is they have the ability to be a little creative. We've seen before where you don't have a very big budget and you may be in a market like Chicago. It's probably a little bit more expensive than Hickory, North Carolina, just for examples. You have to be very creative, maybe do some trade deals and cash deals. Are you looking for someone to have that, or you think the budget's pretty healthy here?
I would say the budget is pretty healthy in a sense where I see the return of investment on a lot of our digital ads that we have spent and that we've placed over the last couple of years. So I see the direct ROI. And so I would rather shift our marketing dollars from wacky socks that we give away at a game and put a couple extra $100 behind either a specific one ad. But I think that we have a good enough budget where you can have some fun and doing some one-off things and seeing if they stick, while not having to kind of give something else up in our marketing strategy.
Sure. Yeah, sometimes those wacky socks cost more than what it would cost to acquire someone to buy a ticket. So
Absolutely.
thinking through that for sure. Well, that brings me to the next question here. What's worked? I mean, wacky socks are fun and all, but what's worked to get people to basketball games? Sure, winning helps anywhere, right? But what's worked for y'all?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great question because something that I'm really proud of is our game day atmosphere at Wintrust Arena. I don't know if you've had the chance to go, but it's right in the South Loop of Chicago. And it is an incredible building. It is just top notch. They didn't skimp out on anything. It has all the bells and whistles. So I remember when I came for my interview, my jaw literally dropped because it is such a perfect size building. It's just over 10,000. The video board is wonderful. We have LED ribbons that are around the entire building that can be an immersive experience with our intros, our starting lineups, our tip video. So that is something that I've really prided our team on, is that we are building up the intros as a must be at experience. When I first started, I had pyro towers at the first 3 games, men's and women's basketball. And Dwayne was like, yeah, we're going to do that every game next year. So we do these incredible pyro towers for both men's and women's basketball. So large that you can feel the heat in the upper section once we shoot them off for each individual intro. So I want my past experiences working at Illinois and Maryland with men's basketball. I've tried to bring that here to DePaul at Wintrust and kind of give that once in a lifetime experience, even if you're at every single game. And something from a marketing perspective that I always say that we can control everything off the court. So we want to make sure that the intros are top notch and our in-game games are fun and your people are feeling like they're involved with the karaoke cam. I know it sounds very basic,
Mhm.
but if it's properly planned and executed well, I think people will have a great time no matter if it's their first time or if it's their 100th DePaul game.
Well, it sounds like the atmosphere is sensational. So when you come out, a lot of fun, a lot of things are taking place. One of the pieces here that you mentioned is some sponsorship activation
Mhm.
side of this as well. So this role actually will have to kind of work a little bit with the sponsorship folks. Hey, we sponsored the Simba Cam. Like, what can we do here? What does this all look like? Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. And we are constantly pitching ideas to our partners over at JMI. So whether it's something new, such as the Simba Cam,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's something that they had an idea or saw from another school, we are all ears. We have a little bit of a luxury right now where we have some free time. It's not all sold. We have some capabilities to do creative things. Also, with us being the Chicago market, we are attending as external staff. We go to a lot of Cubs games, a lot of Bulls games, a lot of Chicago Blackhawks games, and we're just pulling the ideas that they do. And I think it's safe to say that at the pro level, they do it as best as they possibly could. So when we go, we're trying to pull probably 2 to 3 ideas that we bring over to Wintrust Arena and put our own twist on it. And we have the ability to have fun with that. We don't need to work within boundaries, especially when it comes to our sponsorship things. We just try to make sure that we make it as fluid as possible, and that people are truly just having a good time with it.
Yeah, and it sounds like inside of your arena, with all the bells and whistles of the video boards and the ribbon boards and the pyro systems that you have, like it's marvelous. So this person who's walking in actually has toys to play with, essentially.
Absolutely, it's true. It is incredible. We have visiting team director of ops reach out to me and say, Coach said that that was the best game atmosphere that he's seen in the Big East. Can you send us what you do for your pyro and your starting lineup? So there's actually an extremely reputable team on the women's basketball side in the Big East that reached out to us, and I was very, very, very proud of our team for getting that compliment.
Yeah, that's marvelous. Whenever a visiting team says, "Hey, this experience is better than what we have," you must be doing something right. So that's fantastic. So, and I love the fact that you're always out there looking for new ideas. You go to Bulls games and White Sox games, Cubs games, and you're looking to see what are they doing that we're not. How could we enhance our fan experience? So it sounds like the culture extends to consistently look for new ideas to improve the fan experience and make it better. Whereas this role will be doing a lot of that, but also how do we get people to the games? That's the big part, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of it too is maintaining. We don't need to change the script or the run of show every single game. We want to level the consistency while also making it fun and new experiences for our fans.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits of this role. So, Chicago's a marvelous place, and we'll talk a little bit about. We've actually hit on it a little bit about how the opportunities to visit sports teams and a lot of great things living in Chicago area. But let's talk a little bit about the benefits. Working at DePaul, it comes with a tremendous list of benefits, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit on my number one recruiting pitch. Chicago is incredible. My 1B is that we're in the Big East. So 1A, Chicago, Big East. I think that we have such a rich, strong conference within the Big East that we are able to live in an amazing city and do marketing for our men's basketball program here for this position. It truly is amazing. So Chicago as a whole, a lot of our staff live within the city. Some people live right outside in the suburbs. So no matter where you are in your life, we have a lot of graduate assistants that love living in Wrigleyville.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have some staff members as well that live right outside the city in the suburbs, and they're able to get good school and education out there if that's what they're looking for in a yard. So it really can adapt to different parts of people's lives. And then from DePaul, just as a whole, so we have 2 different campuses. We have Lincoln Park campus that is in a beautiful neighborhood in Chicago. We're just a neighborhood south of Wrigleyville. And then we have the downtown Loop campus. So that's right downtown in the skyrise. So with that, we primarily, our office is in Lincoln Park. So you have a little bit more of the neighborhood feel within Chicago. But we do have a handful of meetings, and we do marketing and promotions down at the Loops to make sure that we hit those students as well. So you get a little bit of the neighborhood feel up here downtown at the downtown Loop campus, and then Wintrust is just south a little bit of the Loop from the Loop campus. So you while Chicago is massive, and not even just from a DePaul perspective, but Chicago's really big, but it can feel really small.
Mhm.
And I think with the Loop campus and a lot of students commuting in and living right outside of the Lincoln or with the Lincoln Park campus, you walk around campus at like a typical college feel where you'll run into professors, you'll run into coaches, but you can still have that city, go to the lakefront if you want to go on a run or do the architecture tour down the river in the middle of the city. It's truly incredible.
So with the two campuses, and you've got a lot going on here, and the basketball arena is relatively close. What's student support look like for the sporting events?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of opportunity that we have to continue to build that.
Mhm.
When I first got here 2.5 years ago, I wanted to create an event that was bringing all incoming freshmen and transfer students to learn what DePaul athletics was right off the bat on the first day of school. It's a common practice across a lot of other universities. And so I wanted to make sure that from day one that students know, one, they get free tickets for
Mhm.
all sporting events. Two, where they play. Three, that Wintrust is right down the street and we offer free charter bus transportation for the students. And we do a lot of food giveaways
Mhm.
and we do a lot of t-shirts. And truly, for as many years as I've worked in marketing, t-shirts sometimes just do the trick to get
Mhm.
students. But we have seen the rise in student care for sporting events, honestly.
Mhm.
I like to just think that students just never really had the opportunity to want to care. So I think the culture is shifting a little bit. We are always looking, I say student marketing is one of the biggest impacts that we can make because it's the student athletes walking on campus that get to know the students in their classes. Given our situation in Lincoln Park, like I mentioned, Coach Holtman is around campus all the time. Students are walking into the student center. The last day of school last year, Coach Holtman wanted to do a free coffee with Coach. So
Uh-huh.
he just went to the student center down the street, got coffee for about 150, 200 kids, and just literally talked with them, introduced himself. So we have a unique opportunity to do that right down the street from us. Whereas before other places I've been, you have to get the golf cart and you need to secure the spot and the schedules change and the passing period is not on. So there's just a lot of easy things to do right here on campus to get the kids who have raised their hands saying that they want to be involved with DePaul athletics and coming to a game, continuing to show them a good time at that first game that they're at. And then they'll bring their friends, they'll bring their houses and make an event.
So it sounds like that you guys are building some momentum with the students to be able to come to sporting events. What's communication to the students look like? I've seen some universities do texting, some doing emails, some the other side of campus does all the communication to the students. What does it look like at DePaul?
Yeah, so internally we do some emails. Not all students check their emails though, which we
Hmm.
totally get. So we do social through our Blue Crew account as well, and then we try to collab with our main account as often as possible to try to double up that count, that followers number.
Hmm.
So we'll hit email, social. We have app notifications because that is what I believe is another opportunity for us to really
Hmm.
be talking to our students, but are also our fans. And then we work with campus a lot, our campus partners. So housing and residence life, we every single year we'll do a door hanger with them to promote the free tickets for our students with the basketball schedules on it. We work with Office of Student Involvement to try to collab and create new events. A lot of it, our campus partners want to help and we want to help them. We kind of view a lot of what we do here at DePaul is we're all rowing in the same direction and we all have that same goal. So when fraternity and sorority life reaches out to me and they say, hey, we want to do an event, could we come to a basketball game? Absolutely.
Yes.
I've reserved buses for them. I will do t-shirt tosses for them. But from their perspective, they need to do an event and they don't want to do it in the same building that they do the rest of their meetings. So
Mhm.
if they can come down to Wintrust, get a couple of perks, I'm more than happy to accommodate that.
Mhm.
So a lot of it is campus partnerships, and then just the internal communication on our end to make sure that we're hitting newsletters, emails, app notifications, etc.
So it sounds like top to bottom around campus, everyone believes in the athletic department. They're committed to supporting and helping. It's just building the momentum and getting the word out some more to get people to games, get the students consistently more involved, and activate some of these partnerships with the right role. Like you guys, it's going to fly off the charts here for y'all.
I would say it's a sleeping giant. I think so Dwayne is just completing his 4th year here, going into his 5th. He always calls it his COVID year. I feel very, very grateful that I got in here at DePaul when I did, because I know that we are doing everything in the right direction. Like you said, it's just capitalizing on the momentum. We're capturing the lightning in a bottle right now, and truly, I think once we start the season, and from both men's and women's basketball, we have a lot of great initiatives leading up to it. And then once season's here, I know that it'll catapult, and it is going to be an incredible season for us.
Well, we can't wait to watch. Is there anything else about this role that we didn't hit on, Kassidy, that we should kind of talk through a little bit more?
I think we touched on just a lot of it. I really just want to emphasize the culture, especially within the marketing team. But with my position overseeing marketing, creative services, and communications, we have 11 of us that will be on the team. And we work very, very closely together. I always say, especially marketing and communications and now creative services in that mix, you can't do one without the other. You need to have the communications team understanding what the marketing efforts are in order for the communication to get out there.
Yep.
And so I think that our setup is really, really set up for success in the sense of all of us working very closely together. And truly, I just want to make sure that people are having a good time and enjoying coming to work. And we work in sports, and we need to make sure that we're putting on the best show for our fans. But I think that we're really fortunate for the situation that we're in, and the little bit of pressure to make sure that we do well, and pressure is good, which I think is a good reminder all the time too.
Absolutely. Sitting and resting on your laurels is never a good thing. So I love the balance of a great culture while constantly improving. And I think that's such a great opportunity for anyone who's interested in this specific role. So what I'll do, I'm going to put the link in the show notes. Someone can click in there and be able to apply. And if they've got questions about something, can they reach out to you?
Absolutely. They can reach out to me via LinkedIn. My email is on our DePaul website. So however, I'd be happy to chat with anyone.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat about this open role, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you in a few weeks to say, hey, we got a great fit and this is exciting. So, and then following along all season long.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I really appreciate your time and questions.
I appreciate you.